Hello, this is Celeste of Astrology by Celeste. I'm an astrologer, a coach, an intuitive, a teacher, and today I'm here to talk about Capricorn season. The season starts every year when the sun moves into the sign of Capricorn. We have the longest night and the shortest day of the year with the solstice. It's a great time to consider what you have moved through and achieved during the year and have a little bit of celebration. Now, I'm recording this on day 2 of the Capricorn season, and I'm happy I'm doing so because we're already seeing the themes come to light. Let me get started with my presentation. I like to do a presentation. I spent over 25 years in sales, marketing, and business development at Fortune 500 companies. So I love a presentation. Okay, so here's my Capricorn season forecast. This is all about me. You can read it, pause and read it if you want to know more, or just go to my website, astrologybyceleste.com, where you can book a reading, get a coaching package, or multiple sessions at a lower price if you want to work with me, take my classes, grab my products, and more. I always love starting with a quote. This is such a Capricorn quote. Obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it. Michael Jordan, the basketball player, said that. And it's so in line with the sea goat, which is the glyph for Capricorn. And this sign is ruled by the planet Saturn, which rules structures, obstacles, boundaries of all kinds. And the sea goats are very tenacious. They can scale the face of a mountain. They won't stop. In America, we call goats the greatest of all time. The person who's willing to put in the work and effort in order to master something, having a long, strange vision in place in order to achieve goals. Capricorn is I utilize, I use. These are the I statements. It can also be I achieve statements associated with Capricorn. It seeks achievement and excellence. A sign associated with tradition, striving to build a legacy, being tenacious, practical, and disciplined. Disciplined is such a Capricornian word because having the ability to stick with things through hard times. Saturn rules Capricorn. Jupiter rules the sign before Sagittarius. Sagittarius often are lucky or just have an optimistic point of view that things will go well, are willing to take risks and ready to experience either the achievement or what have you based on the risk. And it's so interesting, as we've entered Capricorn season, we are in a really unique time in history for so many different ways, and we can see it in a lot of different ways. But right now, we just had a new moon at 28 degrees of Sagittarius. So that's almost to the end of the sign. Each sign goes from 0 to 29. 0 is that fresh new energy, and it's kind of like you can wiggle your tail. There's still a little taste of the sign before it, I feel like, and then it takes a day or two to adjust to new energy. As you get to the end, that 29th degree is the last degree. It's called anaretic. It's degree of crisis and decay. You've got all the energy in the sign and you're ready to express it before you move into the next sign. The word of the day for the day the sun moved from Sagittarius to Capricorn was hangover, because the sun was at 29 degrees of Sagittarius. It squared Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces. both of these signs are very expansive. Sagittarius likes to let it all hang out, experience every part of life, often can be overindulgent. Pisces is escapist. It can be seeking a higher level of experience. And this was like, I know on Saturday night, people got totally out of control, drinking and carrying on, or maybe in the bedroom really got carrying on in a good way. Yes, before. And some people may have had the sweetest hangover on Sunday. And some people maybe got sick with drinking and carrying on. So that was the energy as we moved into Capricorn season. So there was this big new moon, new start, where you got everything out about Sagittarius and then hit a wall potentially with duty and discipline in the face. I'm sure on Sunday, many people said, I'm never drinking again. I went to a solstice event, and out of 7 of us there, only 2 people were drinking. I don't drink anymore. My hangovers are the sweetest kind. So I was drinking non-alcoholic beverages. We had an amazing time. Nobody got out of hand on Sunday. But anyway, this was the energy. And my podcast, the Celestial Insights Podcast, which drops every Sunday and gives you a theme of the week, which will show up in the news. And for the week, Lords of Discipline is the theme. We had a big story on Sunday. CBS News was supposed to be airing a story about the CCOT prison in El Salvador, which the current U.S. administration sent a bunch of migrants that they accused of being in the country illegally to that prison in El Salvador. It is a horror show. It is like one of Dante's circles of hell. It is inhumane. And the segment, which was pulled by the new editor at CBS News, Barry Weiss, after it was vetted thoroughly, and then it's a whole big thing. You can Google it. I'm going to actually do a video about it because there was a Hammer of Thor chart pattern, which is so in line with this story. So I'm going to put another video up about that specifically. Lords of Discipline really is aligned with Capricorn energy. On the shadow side, it can be domineering, cruel, punishing, pessimistic. It is one of the archetypes of the father, the harsh, cruel father on the shadow side. That's all the rules. You follow the rules, very disciplined. It's like a major sergeant energy on the shadow side, yes. But on the bright side, it's like someone who honors traditions, we're hardworking, diligent, an excellent manager who's able to be strategic, tenacious, and all these kinds of things. It is a cardinal earth sign. Cardinal signs are pivots. And at the solstice, the sun stands still for 3 days. And the sun is the authority. It's a spotlight. It puts a spotlight on things. And the people from CBS, from 60 Minutes, leaked the segment to the media. We're not playing here with these authoritarians. I am optimistic that the people are going to overcome this attempt at censorship, authoritarianism, and all of this kind of stuff. But we shall see. It is up to us. The road ahead is not easy, but I'm sticking with the arc of the moral universe bending towards justice, and we're seeing so many positive signs. So anyway, let's get into Capricorn season, December 21st through January 19th, 2026. A big part as we move into this season, as the sun squared Neptune, there can be some confusion and illusions. You may have noticed you felt kind of tired or worn out as we moved into this Capricorn season. Pay attention as Venus is moving through that last degree of Sagittarius, squaring Neptune before going into Capricorn. So you're going to see this shift of energy. There was a Turning Point USA had an event last weekend. The current CEO, who's the widow of the former person running that organization, came out with fire sparkles, wearing a gold outfit, ready to party. Very Venus and Sagittarius square Neptune, like putting on this image of a big party, big fun, celebratory energy that's dazzling and fiery. As Venus squares Neptune, you're going to get some reality checks about relationships. Venus square Neptune is rose-colored glasses. Now, it can be your relationship with yourself. Venus rules beauty, our resources like our money, our relationships, especially those one-on-one relationships we can think about, but all relationships in general, alliances. Venus compares, and when Venus goes into Capricorn, that could be like trying to keep up with the Joneses, like lots of people in around the world, but especially like the United States and things. There have been, like, we've lost like 1 million jobs this year, and the tariffs have caused incredible hardship for a lot of people. AI is taking away jobs. The whole landscape is changing. And as prices are increasing, some people are not going to be able to spend as much on the holidays as they normally would. So the celebration, it's very interesting that Venus is entering Capricorn on December 24th, because I feel like after Venus square Neptune, you had this imagination about what was going to be on the Christmas table or under the tree. And then you come out, you open your presents, and it's like, thanks for the socks. Oh, we're not having prime roast rib like we normally do. We're having a ham from a can kind of thing. Maybe things people are experiencing when they're walking into Christmas dinner that maybe they weren't ready for, especially children. I remember, I'm telling on myself, this one Christmas, I couldn't sleep all night. I was so excited about what I was going to get for Christmas. I thought I got a train set or something. I never lost a wink of sleep on Christmas Eve again after that. Such a dud. I was a child, like 7 or 8 years old. I was like, thank you or whatever. But oh my God, I just remember waves of disappointment. That may be what children are feeling this Christmas. The moon is in Pisces. Parents may be emotional. Yeah, that can be. There's something serious at Christmas for a lot of people. Depending on your chart, like if you have Venus in Capricorn, everything may be honky-dory for you. I like to spend time with people rather than spend money. I'm not expecting any humongous gift. I told my boo, I just want a nice bouquet of flowers. That's it. No need for anything else. There's like shifting energy and love, money, and values. And for people who celebrate Christmas, it may feel a little jarring towards more practicality. This is, you get the vacuum cleaner for Christmas. Restraint. People who are moving through a more spiritually aligned life, really just thankful for any blessings, no matter how small. Venus goes from reporting into Jupiter to reporting into Saturn, and things calm down. And Mercury then enters Capricorn on January 1st. So Mercury does the same thing that Mars did. And there was horrible stories when Mars squares Saturn. My podcast that week was Memento Mori, which is remember your mortality. And that was the Bondi Beach thing, Brown University, Rob Reiner. There was a lot of violence when Mars went through that. We'll see what happens when Venus goes through that. When the sun went through that, we saw the attempts to control broadcasting, publishing. Broadcasting is ruled by Sagittarius, that sends all the information out. The reports, the publishers and the broadcasters send them out. We'll see what happens with Venus and Mercury in Sagittarius, the sign of its detriment, square Neptune and Pisces. I hope I said square Neptune for all of these. First, Mercury will square. It's going to be really interesting. The lead up to New Year's Day is difficult energy. My podcast will be called on Sunday next week, The Beast Within. Mercury, which was our thought processes, communication, also commerce, in the sign of Sagittarius, the sign of its detriment, exile. This is people with visas. Mercury rules paperwork of all kinds, are being cautioned by their employers like Google and whatnot not to leave the United States because they might not be able to get back in based on the actions of this administration. So yeah, that was just announced today. But Mercury, so maybe people are feeling restrained. That could be with Venus. Venus rules recreation. This came out today as Venus is getting ready to square Neptune. People from other countries may have wanted to go on vacation, like be on a beach. At the new moon in Sagittarius, the Trump administration announced that they're setting intentions to denaturalize at least a couple hundred Americans, citizens, people who are born in other countries and went through the naturalization process that they say committed fraud when getting their citizenship. They want to kick them out of the country. They're really looking to get rid of people if they can. There are all these countries that are considered undesirable. That can be people feeling depressed or anxious. When Mercury squares Saturn, it quincunxes Uranus, and then people get agitated and quarrelsome, and then it squares Neptune, and that can be where people are getting so out of control with their celebrations. I want you to be very careful on New Year's Eve if you're out and about, because people are going to be ready to be argumentative and conflict with Mercury at the end of Sagittarius. Now, it could be just a lot of fun. Somebody's telling you a big fish story where the fish starts at 50 pounds and it's 1,000 pounds and it's 2,000 pounds. And you're just laughing, having fun, having your drinks, eating really great food at a party. But it also could be people really mixing it up, arguing and coming to blows. Now, this could also just be really bad weather. But Mercury enters Capricorn on January 1st. That suggests the party's over, which it's still a holiday, January 1st, after New Year's Eve. But there's something very serious. Now, this also can be like really bad weather, leads to some kind of infrastructure problem becoming very apparent. We're talking about roads being impassable for some reason. But on the personal level, it's a great time to get serious about practical matters. This is great energy if you lived it up over the holidays, and lots of people will, because this year has been so stressful for many. Now you're ready to get serious, clean up your diet, get back to exercising, get back to grounded, get back to earth, make plans about how you're going to make 2026 as good of a year as possible. It's going to be a great year for some people. Some people, we're still in hard times. I think it can still be a really good year for people. Yeah, so repairs. I keep getting this theme of repairs with Mercury entering Capricorn. So we'll see how that shows up. Chiron stationing direct on January 2nd. 5 days before and after a planet changes signs, it's the most intense. Chiron's the wounded healer. It's actually an asteroid, not a planet. Be careful with Aries topics: fire, knives, anything sharp, anger, impatience, impulsivity, like rushing. You could cut yourself on a sharp surface. So just be aware. Now, it's 22.5 degrees of Aries is where Chiron's stationing direct. That is a world point, and it's stationing direct square Jupiter and Cancer. So Jupiter makes everything bigger. Cancer is a water sign, emotional. So people are going to be more easily triggered and reactive, ready to defend old wounds or engage in conflict. But this offers us a powerful portal transformed through healing. Chiron heals and wounds and then heals. So it's like something may come up to your conscious attention, especially from the past, something from childhood comes rushing in, and you get the opportunity to see it in a different perspective or heal it. Somebody may say something out of their neck on with Mercury and Sagittarius square Neptune that really is like foot and mouth disease, really tactless. I love Sagittarius energy, but just saying something that hurts your feelings. And it can give you an opportunity to, and Aries is the self. So this can also be self-inflicted wounds. So if you know someone or you yourself are depressed or feeling hopeless, I recommend getting help or keeping an eye on people around this time, because there's energy for people to feel so depressed that they don't see the future being very bright with all this Capricorn energy. People with strong Capricorn energy sometimes can deal with depression or pessimism or just being glum. You can just like get real serious, get ready, get on your goals, come out of this year like a rocket. I really love the fact that we had this new moon in Sagittarius at those end degrees where you're like thinking big about, ooh, what can you do? And then we go into Capricorn, let's get it done. Let's make the plans. Believe in ourselves that we have the ability to make things happen. Now, maybe you want to stay at home until Venus enters Aquarius. You may find January 17th through February 10th that you're feeling more likely to be socializing, connecting, networking with others after a period of heaviness. Things will lighten up by the 17th emotionally for a lot of people, or people are coming together in groups to make some changes. This also could be Venus rules resources like money. We could be talking about cryptocurrency and that sort of stuff. But think about whether you want to form community connections through shared ideas and communities with people. The magic of the moon. What's really interesting, what we're experiencing now is because the new moons are at such a late degree, we get the full moon before the new moon. The sun, which is our conscious mind, moves into Capricorn and opposes the moon, which rules our subconscious mind, bringing something up to our conscious attention on this axis of the sun in Capricorn and the moon in Cancer. Capricorn are goals, our ambitions, structures, big business, the elderly, the work. The moon, home, and Cancer, home, family, foundations are what we do to keep ourselves safe. It's very emotional. And full moons are emotional in general. And the moon is at home in Cancer. It can do what it does with ease, which is feel, emote. Cancer rules the breasts and the stomach. So really notice if anything comes up to your conscious attention about those things. Capricorn rules the bones, the knees, and the teeth. Pay attention to what's coming up for that. Full moons illuminate health stuff too. Emotions are heightened. Now it's time for celebration. So be mindful with celebrations around this day. I still think the energy is chaotic. And what's happening is Venus in Capricorn's at 12 degrees. The sun's at 13 degrees in Capricorn. And then Mars is at 14 degrees. So Venus, the sun, and Mars are moving together as a unit opposite the moon. So the people and their leader, the sun is the leader, the moon is the people, are at odds. And the people's emotions are getting really big for some reason. On the personal level, there's a strong pull between responsibility and emotional needs. Like you could be relaxing with your family and your boss is bothering you about getting this report on Monday, blah, blah, blah. And this could bring real angry emotions up within you. Your boss, the sun, wants a report about finances, Venus, and there's Mars. It's like they're really pushing you to get it done. That can be how this shows up for someone. And then you're like, like your emotion, you're ready to explode. Yeah, because there's tension between your ambitions, your duties, your responsibilities, and your desires to drink cocoa, be on the couch, cuddling with your pet, your family, your spouse, your dog, whatever, and nurturing yourself. Really notice that now on the collective level, what happens the 6th through the 9th is going to be fascinating to watch because the sun and Venus are going to meet. That's called Venus Cazimi. When a planet meets the sun, it's like moves through the sun. It's at its dying phase. It burns off old stories and is born anew. There's death, rebirth symbology with Venus going through the sun. And then Venus meets Mars. Our desires meet our drive, and this can be like, in Capricorn, I am ready to achieve my goals. You may feel excited and delighted to get going with your goals. That can be. And then the sun and Mars meet in Capricorn, and Mars is exalted in Capricorn. It's where it's lifted up. It's got a special seat at the table. But Capricorn rules governments. Venus, peace, Mars, conflict. So we may be hearing about conflicts between countries, people, and their leaders. There's energy of conflict. The MI6, that organization in England, the new leader talked about how we're in this period, this liminal period. She didn't say liminal period, but this transition period between peace, Venus, and war, Mars. And she's saying this as a leader, the sun, as Venus and Mars were on either side of her. And she said it in Sagittarius season. Now we're in Capricorn season, and they're going to meet. So, yeah, this is the 6th through the 9th. Is a really interesting day. Watch what happens. Now, Venus rules resources. Looking at the chart set in the U.S., there may be some announcements about debt or bonds. The president sent somebody to Greenland talking about how we need Greenland, another distraction from the Epstein files. Or are we really going to engage in conflict with NATO over Greenland? Let's hope not. But if something's said about this Greenland stuff this first week of the year, the people of the country are going to be feeling very emotional, and we're going to be told it's for the protection of the country. It's to make the rich richer. And what are we going to have to do? And why would we be in conflict with our allies over this? We'll see. That may not be it, but really notice the 6th through 9th. What is happening if you're interested in political stuff and seeing how the astrology shows up in real life based on, yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Okay, that's the full moon. Then we're going to have a new moon at January 18th. The new moon at 28 degrees of Capricorn. Oh, my goodness, this is almost the end of the sign. This is conjunct. Pluto is the lord of the underworld. Pluto makes small things big and big things small. It moves at the speed of a glacier, but has the impact of a tsunami. It is about power dynamics. Pluto figures are like dictators, CEOs, heads of businesses, billionaires. These are Plutonic figures, people who are holding on, asserting power. It also is associated, and Capricorn rules structures too. Infrastructure can be a big topic around this time. And with Neptune at the last degree of Pisces, and Saturn and Neptune, they don't meet till February, but they're moving closer together. There can be like big deluges of water. At this new moon, it's approaching a sextile with Neptune. One of the things I'm doing in the new year, Dabney Lawless of Lawless Astrology and I are going to be doing new moon, full moon things. So you'll get to see the charts there, the new moons at 28 degrees of Capricorn. So after the sextile with Saturn in Pisces, the sun trines Uranus, smooth, easy flowing energy in the sign of Taurus. They're both earth signs, and there can be something related to currency or the workers in the country or something that's announced. And then there's this new moon at 28 degrees, and then it's sextile to Neptune. It will be really interesting to see how this shows up. How it will be showing up in some areas of the world will be landslides, will be torrents of rain. We'll see that. It's going to be very emotional. I just saw this report. There's this, I think it's a Tyson plant in this tiny town in Nebraska that's announced 3,000 jobs are being eliminated. There's only 11,000 people in this town. Their last day is going to be January 19th. So this new moon, they're saying goodbye. So they start this new moon with no job, 28 degrees in Capricorn. Yeah. So anyway, I'm on a tangent. New moons are times to set intention. And with this, I really think setting an intention on the personal level can be about what things related to your work or duties and responsibilities are you no longer needing to do? Are you doing things that are past their sell-by date? You're just in this routine and just keep doing them. Do you need to do you need to stop? And if you have your own business, this can be a great exercise to think about what do you need to outsource that you can get inexpensive people on things like Fiverr and Upwork, or you can reach out to your network and say, hey, do you know you can hire people or independent contractors to help you. Also, getting creative with budgeting and planning. A lot of people are having to do that because everything's getting so expensive. Finding new ways to stretch resources further. A lot of people are just having to face this because the financial situation in the country is not great. Project 2025, they said they were going to do this, and they're doing it. Anyway, that's enough of that. That's the full moon and the new moon. And I'm going to do each of the signs. So hold on for each sign. 26 is a year where you want to really stay on top of your goals and move forward purposefully. People have been asking me for years, I finally created this digital lunar planning guide for the whole year that will help you work through the moon cycles, the 4 main phases, the new moon, first quarter, full moon, last quarter. Gives you all of the big transits of the year, the Saturn Neptune conjunction, all of the retrogrades, and the other big sign changes, like when Jupiter goes into Leo. So it can help you work through that with understanding the energies, prompts, helping you make intentions, all that kind of stuff. You can go, and there's a link in the notes here. You can also go to astrologybyceleste.com. It's on my shop page. Also, this Wise Skies digital calendar is an incredible resource where it puts all the transits on your calendar, in your phone, on your computer, your iPad, all of it. You get $10 off with my coupon code ABC 2026. There's a link in the show notes or whatever you call them. There is a link in the description. Also, put in the chat, what do you most want me to do videos about in 2026? Anything you're looking forward to? Anything you're wondering how it's going to show up? What does Capricorn, your favorite Capricorn words? Do you have anything in Capricorn? Comment, subscribe to my channel. I'd like to read your comments if you want to leave anything. Okay, let's start with the Aries. If you're an Aries sun or an Aries rising, this Capricorn season, when the sun goes through Capricorn, it's lighting a light through your 10th house. These are general things to look out for. I use Placidus as my house system. So you may not, it depends on where it depends on what house systems you're using, but this can be helpful to give you the general flavor. You will be seeing things related to your 10th house, which are your professional career, social status, things you consider your calling, which may have nothing to do with your career. Your reputation, you are going to be in the spotlight. At work, this is not a time to be slacking off because the sun is the authority. Eyes will be on you even if you're not aware of them at this time. This is a great time for you to be at the full moon. All will be revealed about how you hold yourself back, make yourself small, keep yourself safe, or the relationship between the full moon is in the 4th house. The new moon will be in the 10th house. Like those people in that town, they are going to be panicking about what they're going to be doing. They'll get severance packages and things like that, but they're likely to be very emotional knowing their jobs are going away. But anyway, this is great. They'll be planning, what are they going to do? But anyway, then that new moon at the last degrees, you can really have great themes about, okay, now what are my intentions to conquer my goals for the rest of the year, and to set some specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound goals, smart goals on what you're going to do over the next 4 weeks when you have that new moon. Okay. Taurus, the sun will light up your 9th house of foreign travel, religion, philosophy. Your in-laws may be in focus, higher education. These things, and the 3rd house will be where the full moon is in your chart. That's siblings. Something may come up. That's siblings, short trips, cars, neighbors. These are all 3rd house things. Something may come up around these topics. If you have to get a visa to go somewhere or what have you, or you're worried about visas kind of thing, can be something that's coming up for you. Or you're wanting to study something. I'm taking Teresa Reed's advanced tarot class because I want to do more with tarot. I love it. And I just want to learn more. I use it, but I want to get better at it. So I'm taking a class. I'm already doing a 9th house thing. So I'll be studying between the full moon and the new moon. At the new moon, I will be using these new skills to help myself, help my clients, help my community online. I mean, who knows? You may see me doing spreads and stuff. We'll see. But anyway, what do you want to do with your new skills? Learn new skills, get involved in local politics, maybe what you decide to do at that new moon. Maybe you're thinking about publishing your work or expanding your mind. For Gemini, this full moon will be in your 2nd house of talents, finances, self-esteem. This is the axis of pleasure, power, and resources, the 2nd and the 8th. So the sun is lighting up your 8th house of sex, death, and taxes. It's the house of our psychological processes, our shadows, the things we would rather not acknowledge about ourselves. Gemini, really pay attention to what's coming up to your conscious attention. If you're a Gemini rising, this is your 1st house. Or if you're a Gemini sun too, your identity. This is a quincunx to the 8th house. The quincunx is a 150-degree aspect. It's like it's in your blind spot. Irritation, fears, and things are in the 8th house. It's a dark house. Gemini likes to be footloose and fancy-free sometimes and a little detached emotionally, so that depth that comes in with intimacy in the 8th house can be a little uncomfortable naturally for the sign. So anyway, just notice what's coming up. And at the new moon, you may set intentions about finances, reducing debt, focusing more or being able to be more intimate with your partner, facing your shadows. These can be things that you can set intentions about for the new moon. Now, I'm a Cancer rising, and this full moon is going to be in my first house. I'm going to be working on my vitality. It's the first and the seventh house. So the full moon's going to be in my first house. The sun going through my seventh house. So my partner will be in focus, and there'll be a spotlight there. You'll see things when your sun goes through your seventh house, like you're looking at your partner head on and seeing them for more of how they really are rather than how you imagine them to be. Things will be showing up. There can be actions about, like, I may decide I should do this for the relationship to be better, or do we need healthier boundaries, or bringing more beauty into my life. This can be the full moon, the sun shining through. At the new moon, I'll be making intentions about doing something new with my clients, because that's the seventh house as well. When you have your own business, that's what you can be doing. The seventh house rules marriage and partnerships of all kinds, especially business partnerships, best friends. You may learn something new about your best friends, those people you have one-on-one relationships. Yeah. Leo, the sun is going through your sixth house during Capricorn season. This is a dark house in our blind spot. It rules small pets, our habits, our health, specifically things that go wrong with our health. Great time to set up an appointment to see your doctor if you haven't recently. It's great for you, Leo, to get back on your plan so that after the holidays, so whatever you need to do to be more disciplined about getting to bed early, or eat what you're eating, exercising, all of that kind of stuff. Employees fall into this house as well. If you haven't taken your pet to the vet, this could be a time to schedule an appointment. It's a great time to create actions around improving your health. The full moon in your 12th house, shining a light on self-undoing, any escapist tendencies. Anxiety can be coming to your conscious attention. If you have it, it's a great time to replace unhealthy habits with healthier ones, and maybe rituals that are really nourishing to your well-being. For Virgo, the fifth house is where the sun is moving through. The fifth house of pleasure, romance, sex for pleasure, love, children fall in there. This is the house of joy. So this could be a great time to, like, notice how much you're spending. Is your inner child needs some nourishment or some fun? Do you want to bring sexy back if it left? This can be a great time to think about that. Your kids may be in focus for some reason. And the full moon on the 3rd is in your 11th house. So that's friends, other people's children can be something. If you have children, something could come up with another person's children, your kids' friends, or their love partners that comes to your conscious attention. Full moons illuminate things. At the new moon, you will need to set intentions about bringing yourself more joy. Yes, Virgo, you don't have to always be at work or in service for others. What do you do to just have some fun? For Libra, the sun will be going through your 4th house of home, family, heritage. Your parents may be in focus. The full moon in your 10th house, something may come to your conscious attention. Like if you can barely stand the thought, if you've been off for a couple of weeks, of going to work on Monday, the 5th of January, you may decide, I need to get my resume together and find something else. I need to start the business I've been saying I was going to do forever. You can be feeling that pull about keeping yourself small and safe versus following your calling, your ambitions, that you really want to do. The sun is shining a light. The fourth house in the Placidus and other quadrant-based systems, and it's like shining a light on your tender little parts inside you. If you have Libra at the IC, how you need more balance between home and work life in order to be healthy, to be happy, all those kinds of things. This could be what you're thinking. For Scorpio, the sun is shining a light in the third house of the mind. Pay attention to what is going on. Are you feeling down or depressed? Or are you just maybe ready to conquer the world? Fired up about 2026. Jupiter is in Cancer, giving you the opportunity to really expand yourself. The full moon in your ninth house, you may be thinking about world domination, travel, learning things, higher education, what have you. But this third house and ninth house is an axis of the mind, the third house. And the ninth house is our belief system. Something may be coming to your conscious attention about your belief systems that you're ready to let go of, especially if it's something that's keeping you small. With the full moon, the moon will meet Jupiter in your ninth house. Maybe you're moving to another country and getting all your paperwork together. Pay attention. It's a great month to have a journaling practice. What are your goals? What are you doing to achieve them? Scorpios can be very strategic, and really with the Capricorn planets in Capricorn, especially because Mars rules Scorpio, it's your chart ruler in traditional astrology, Pluto in modern astrology. But Mars is in Capricorn, in your third house, about to have a rebirth. On the 9th, it has a rebirth. And Venus and Mars meeting, I hope you're feeling good. You may be depressed or something, but Venus in going through your third house hopefully is lifting your spirits up a little bit. And if when you're watching this, they're not lifted, pay attention, especially when Venus meets Mars. There may be something nice that's coming towards you. That's the 7th. Pay attention to what's happening. There can be some nice things for you, Scorpio. Now, Sagittarius, the sun is moving through your second house of resources, money, and talents, that sort of thing. And the moon, full moon across that axis of what's mine versus what's ours. And yeah, you can be thinking about your taxes, thinking about your mortality, what have you, as this is happening. You might want to set intentions around your building savings, increasing your income. Do you need a side hustle? Your values may come into your conscious attention at this time, but you just had your season and maybe you're excited about the possibility of doing things differently so that you have a more balanced approach to your resources. Capricorn, this is your season. The sun is in your first house. So there's a spotlight on your vitality, how other people see you, your identity, your physical body, what masks you wear. Maybe you're ready to be more authentic. The new moon in Capricorn trines Uranus in your 5th house. If you're single and ready to mingle, this can be a great time. You may just meet someone unexpectedly right around the new moon in Capricorn throughout the 19th. If you're interested in meeting someone, this is a great time to shine your light. Come out of the house looking like you're ready to find someone and meet them. Yes, the full moon, and you may January 3rd at that full moon, really be ready to make some intentions about partnership and things like that. You may really make some decisions about your relationships as well. Are these relationships healthy? Do you want to bring them into 2026? You could be ready for different relationships potentially. The seventh house is love partners, business partners, best friend types. Do you need to set any healthy boundaries? Who are you now? Have you changed over the last several years? This last year has been a lot. How have you changed? Great time to assess your goals. What are you going to do? Pluto is no longer in Capricorn, and it's inching farther and farther away from any planets you have at the end of Capricorn. You may feel like, oh my God, I feel better at this. It was in Aquarius at the last new year, but the energy was yucky last new year. There's nicer energy in terms of, you got Mars in your first house, Venus in your first house, the sun in the first house. This is some nice energy for a Capricorn getting ready to get started with this year. Thinking about maybe you want to make some changes or do things differently with your work or your job. I'm liking this energy in general for Capricorns. This could be a really nice season for you. Aquarius, the sun is going through your 12th house of solitude, your 12th house of self-undoing, institutions we'd rather not be, like hospitals and things like that. If you have any tests you need to get at hospitals, this can be a great time to do so. Aquarius rules the circulatory system, and having Pluto there, is there anything you need to do to get more exercise, get your circulatory system moving better, or something like that? This can be a time you might be taking this year a little slow because your sun moves in. Aquarius, you may be taking things a little slow. Aquarius, you may be taking things a little slow as we go into this year because all of this energy is in your 12th house. What routines and rituals will support you health-wise? Do you need to add practices that are more soothing to your physical body? The full moon, really pay attention if anything comes up related to your health that you want to take action about. You may join a new gym, decide you need some new glasses or things like that may be coming up for you at this time. It's a great time to focus on your mental health. How are you doing? Taming bad habits, planning downtime, and focusing on spiritual practices like starting a daily meditation practice could be a great thing to do for you. Pisces, this sun is moving through your 11th house. The 11th house is a house of good fortune. It's a house of friends, groups, organizations, hopes, and dreams. Whenever you have a new moon, this doesn't come till the 19th in your 11th house, you're supposed to make wishes and tell the universe, what do you want? That is what Jan Spiller says, an amazing astrologer. Now, the full moon is in your 5th house of fun, children, dating, romance, all of that kind of stuff. Some Aquariuses are going to find out they are pregnant at this time, or deciding whether or not they want to have kids could be something that's coming up for you. Kids may just be in focus. What you do for fun, your hobbies, maybe you're planning a game night. You might want to plan it for after the 17th because that is when Venus goes into Aquarius and people may be wanting to be more social. This can be a really nice start to the year with the sun moving through your 11th house and Venus and Mars are there. Maybe you'll do the game night before the end of the month. I hope you enjoy your sun going through your 11th house. I hope it brings you some nice, good fortune. This is where you can find me, astrologybyceleste.com. You can subscribe for moon phase guidance, astrology in action, updates on where I'm speaking, what I'm doing, what classes I'm holding. You can listen to the Celestial Insights podcast for weekly guidance. It posts on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those things. I do it on Podbean. Your favorite podcatcher is where you can watch it, listen to it. And yeah, book a reading to know how the year, what energies are coming in for you. I host Instagram Lives every week at 10 a.m. where I talk about the astrology and pull cards for oracle guidance. I have decided to discontinue my cosmic conversations. I'll do them here and there, but Dabney Lawless and I are going to be doing twice monthly talks about the astrology through political stuff, cultural stuff, and all of that. So that's going to take place of my cosmic conversations. But I'm on all the things, all the socials, Blue Sky too. But yeah, so put a comment, like, please, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back soon. Thank you for watching.